All right, who wants to have some fun? I see a bunch of you already found the YouTube short on my other channel, the main channel, Brent Shimko. So welcome on in to the Matt and Shannon Walker channel. And we're gonna let the games begin here. So this is going to be a short video, just a couple things on my mind. First of all, Elaine has a hearing tomorrow, as many of you probably already know. That's the bond hearing regarding the grand jury indictments, 8 felonies, 6 misdemeanors. So there's a number of channels that look like they're going to be covering this in some way, shape, or form. Reluctant Prophet and quite possibly Tucson Police Sucks, Tuck Sucks will be in Tucson, providing whatever coverage they could. And then Foshan at This Is a Public Service is going to be streaming Tuesday, March 25th as well on his channel. This is a public service. First of all, my apologies to you, Foshan. I was the one trolling you in your live stream this afternoon. I couldn't resist. I mean, it's what trolls do. So anyways, it's all in good fun, good nature. And so welcome on in here to whoever's joining us. There's just kind of a couple of things in the last couple of days, or yesterday, Sunday, the 23rd, I did a live stream in the morning and a live stream in the afternoon. We were talking about what's going on with Mr. Myers. And on this channel, we'll delve deep into the Streisand Effect and kind of discuss all things Walker and Myers as far as their front-facing public image and help them understand what the internet's all about. And last time I checked, trolling is still a protected activity, both in the United States and Canada. Although, from what I understand, in the UK, they've attempted or may have passed some internet safety bills or laws. Here in Canada, we have something called the Online Harms Bill. It's of course to protect the children, but on this channel, we're all about protecting Matt and Shannon Walker. It seems like they traumatize themselves every time they make a click somewhere on the internet. And so we want to help them through that because we don't want them to pass that trauma on to their children. And so we'll be talking about a few interesting things, and so that'll kind of unfold as we go. I had made a comment in one of the yesterday's streams about participating in what's going on in Tucson and New Mexico. And as a Canadian, as if you don't already know, I'm up here in the 51st state, and my feeling is I don't really think it's cool for me to directly interfere in the legal process by contacting judges and etc. On legal matters. You guys tell me if I'm off. If I have a responsibility, then I'll start putting pressure on your public officials and lawmakers and whatnot. But it just seems kind of out of sorts or inappropriate. Like you may say, well, it's for a good cause to free Lane Myers, but how would you feel if someone from China or a country that's adversarial to the United States wanted to influence your legal process? So give me some guidance on this. I can troll whoever needs to be trolled, but we are dedicating our efforts towards the Walkers. And so we'll put them under the spotlight, or shine the spotlight, put them under the microscope, just dig deep into what we can find out about them as far as their public persona, because the use of the internet is not a crime. And so if you find this threatening, you need to be able to enunciate that give some kind of probable cause and whatnot. So as long as trolling is still a protected activity, we're going to continue doing it. I did actually, by the way, just out of curiosity, I was interested in seeing what your, if you're in America, what your U.S. code talks, or how it treats the crime or the idea of subversion, subversive speech, or subversive actions. And it falls under U.S. Title 18, which many of you are familiar with. I forget the section. I don't have it pulled up right in front of me right now. But in there it talks about treason, sedition, and subversion. Although in the paragraphs under the heading, it doesn't speak of subversion specifically, but acts of treason and sedition, they all involve force and violence. So I thought, okay, we're all good. Like, we can't be treated as subversives. But then it kind of occurred to me, like, the trend in the last several years is to treat words and speech as violent and violence. So I think this is kind of a front we need to be fighting this battle on, to war against the idea that words in and of themselves are violence, unless there's the exception of incitement and fighting words and the like. We're all familiar with, but trolling people on the internet, like, no, we're gonna school the walkers on what it's like to live in the 21st century. And there's no such thing as anonymity or privacy anymore. That all went out the window. If there's folks out there still using VPNs and end-to-end encryption and apps like Telegram and Snapchat, like, you're just kidding yourselves. There's no anonymity or privacy. Anyone can find out who you are, what you are, where you are, in virtually no time flat. So this was predicted 30 years ago by various people looking at the trends and pointing us in the direction of where things were going to go, and we're living through those very predictions and prognostications, and so this isn't really surprising. It's alarming, but hey, get used to it. So maybe we can turn the ship around, but if we want to keep using the internet, privacy and anonymity is kind of stupid, unless you set up a troll account and then fool people. So in any case, guilty as charged, but we're not going to do anything illegal on this channel. And I have a vested interest in what's going on with Elaine Jeffrey Myers. I can relate to him. I like him. There's things that annoy me about him, but there's things that annoy me about myself, and I'm sure we could all look at ourselves. So, but he has brought me great joy and lots of entertainment and educational value. And in seeing what's going on in his legal exploits, the journey he's on, he seems completely equipped to handle and manage what's going on with him. I'm sure he's not happy being in jail. He'd obviously rather be free, but whatever happens to Lane, I'm confident he's going to end up doing just fine. Whether lawsuits come out of this in the end or what have you. Now, having said that, he's quite the specimen as far as his resilience, his tenacity, his knowledge, his ability. I was bragging about him in another video on the main channel. Just all the attributes he's got that suits him for this fight, to engage in the battle. And I admit, like, I'm not as well equipped, and partially it's because I'm lazy. Like, Lane has put in tens of thousands of hours at study when it comes to the topic of the law how to protect your rights, and I see it's doable. But I've been watching his I've watched him, take the battle to them, and he's been doing a great job. But in the back of my mind, it's always okay. Well, what are they going to try next? And so this again seems like a very tricky, sneaky load of kangaroo shenanigans that has him imprisoned based on a court rule, a procedural rule. And what bugs me about rules and laws in general is the arbitrary nature of them. And so we kind of had an interesting discussion on my live stream yesterday about, what are some of the solutions? How can we get the toothpaste back in the tube as far as getting our rights back? What has always irked me is the arbitrariness of some of these rules. And so Rachel Stiles, I think, is the name of the prosecutor. She was insisting to the judge that he has to hold Lane on bond because of this rule. And rather than allowing the judge to make a determination based on the totality of the circumstances, he felt he was bound by the rule. And if I remember, he said he did find there was probable cause to hold Lane based on this. But again, a threat of violence, threat of imminent death and harm. Like, come on, girl. Like, them, smarten up. Get your head right. So, whatever. I don't know what's going on with the grand jury there. That's kind of a mysterious process to me. Like, we don't have that up here in Canada. But we'll start delving in with more material, just giving the walkers a taste of what the internet's all about. And hopefully they can work through their trauma and learn not to click on stuff that is bothersome or traumatic. It's in no way harassing. It's in no way threatening. It's in no way harmful. Just put the mouse down. If anything, we should be petitioning their internet service provider to cut off their service so that they can no longer have access to the internet, so they will no longer be traumatized. So in any case, the Streisand Effect will be in full effect over on this channel. The YouTube blood sports have begun, and our first contestants are the walkers. So climb on into the ring. It's going to get good.